Good afternoon, folks. As of Friday, July 3rd, the government has announced that churches and businesses can host public gatherings of up to 200 people or 50% of the capacity of their buildings with social distancing. And folks, this has been the announcement that we have been waiting for because it means that we can finally assemble a plan to reopen public gatherings here at our facility on Parade Street. So you guys, you all want to know when. You want to know when this is going to happen. So here it is. The first thing that we are going to do is offer 2 worship and prayer nights in July so we can get accustomed to the new guidelines that we have to follow. These will be Wednesday, July 15th at 6:30 p.m. and Wednesday, July 22nd at 6:30 p.m. These will be during our usual Wednesday night prayer meeting times and will be structured somewhat in a similar fashion. You will be able to come into the building. There will be prayer requests on the screen. You can find some space to pray privately, and then I will lead in some worship halfway through, and we can pray for some of the needs in the room that night. That is going to be a fantastic time together for those 2 weeks. And then, after we are through those 2 soft launch events, we are going to relaunch Sunday morning gatherings of church on Sunday, August the 2nd, with 2 service times to choose from, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Folks, that Sunday, August 2nd, that is going to be so meaningful for so many of us. We're going to be in the same building. We are going to be worshiping together. We'll be praying together. We will hear the word preached in person. I'm actually going to preach to a live audience again for the first time. And that Sunday on August 2nd, when we are together, we are going to celebrate communion together in person for the first time in so many months. We are closer than ever, folks. Just a week and a bit until our first worship and prayer gathering, and just weeks away from the reopening of our Sunday morning gatherings. So I want you to celebrate that, folks. This really is a great day and a great announcement. But I need to give you some of the fine print as well. There's really only 2 things I want to highlight right now, but here's the first one. We're going to have reservations for our Sunday gatherings. Now, we have to be socially distanced, and because our pews are bolted to the floor, we have measured our sanctuary every which way possible, and we have determined that with social distancing, and because we can't move the pews around, we can only really accommodate about 100 people in our sanctuary. And so this is why there will be 2 service options. But you will have to reserve your spot in whichever service you would like the week ahead of time so that we can plan appropriately and not overwhelm one or other service. Now, you can do this by following a link that'll be posted online, our website and our Facebook page early in the week. And if there's people that, following a link online isn't your thing, you can also call in person on Thursday or Friday of any week to reserve your spot for the upcoming Sunday. We're going to have a reservation system in place for our worship and prayer nights as well, and that will be opened up sometime early next week. I do want to say as well that if you have been following Evangel online, but you have never joined us in person, you are welcome to join us. In fact, we would love to have you as our guests here in the building. Feel free to simply go to the reservation link when they are posted on our website or on Facebook, and you can reserve a spot for yourself at any of our public gatherings. This is wide open to anyone in the community at all. Now, here's the other fine print. We're going to have what we call 2 COVID commandments. It's only 2. It's going to be really easy to remember, but we must always, always, always follow the 2 COVID commandments. Here's the first one. The first COVID commandment is do not touch anyone at all for any reason. and do not even come within 6 feet of them when you are in the building, unless, of course, they are family members or part of your family bubble. We have to maintain strict social distancing according to public health guidelines. So we can't shake hands at all. Absolutely not. We can't hug. Not yet. We'll get there, but we cannot hug if we want to have public gatherings. And we just can't sit together with our friends. We have to sit with our bubbles, family bubbles, or on our own. And here's the second COVID commandment. The second COVID commandment is this: do not sing or shout loudly when we are gathered. You can hum and express your praise and worship to God inside. Now, we will make provision for the vocal gifts of the Spirit, for prophetic words and these sorts of things, to be able to be present within our services. These are important parts of our Pentecostal DNA, and we will make space and we will provide ways for this to happen in accordance with the guidelines. Now, that's the fine print, folks, because it's not so fun. But public health has made it really clear that churches are responsible to adhere to these guidelines, and we will be held accountable if we do not. Now, it can be frustrating, and trust me, I get it. It's frustrating for me too, especially doubly frustrating if you happen to be on social media and see reports of other people doing other things that seem to be not following these guidelines. But this is what we have determined for us and for our church here at Evangel. We will abide by all public health guidelines put in place because submitting to the governing authorities is a biblical thing to do. And at this moment, we have decided that this is the most Christian approach. Now, if at some point in the future, it seems that the governing authorities are unfairly restricting churches while other similar establishments have fewer restrictions, we will press back against that in a honorable and a respectful way. But at this moment, all organizations who assemble people for entertainment or religious purposes are all abiding by these same guidelines. And we're going to help you get through this. When you come for the Sunday gatherings, we will have masked and gloved volunteers from the parking lot all the way through to help ensure that you know what you are supposed to do. So don't be afraid to come back. We're going to get through this together. We're going to take some questions live. And so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to put these into the comments section right away and we will get to them. But let me answer 2 questions that I know you're probably thinking of. The first is this: what about Evangel Online? Can you still join in online after we relaunch public gatherings? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Evangel Online is going to move to a new time on Facebook and YouTube. It will be at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday evenings. We're going to record the elements from the morning gathering and have them produced in such a way they can be released to you at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday evenings, and you will have a pastoral guide on there to chat with and to walk with you during those as well. We're still working on our plan for Eastlink, but we do intend to still be on Eastlink Community Television as well, even after we relaunch public gatherings on Sunday, August the 2nd. Now, here's another question you might be asking. Why not right away? Why can't we come back this week? And there's several reasons why we have to wait until August the 2nd to come back on Sunday, but here's the biggest one. We need the time to get our new volunteer teams in place, and we need the time to get the building ready. We have been given a 10-page document of provincial guidelines, and we just got that on Friday last week. And so some churches, because of their size, if they're smaller, are able to accomplish this more quickly. Some churches, if they're larger and have bigger staff and teams, are able to blow through this more quickly. But here at Evangel, we have determined that we can be ready for public gatherings on a Sunday on August 2nd. And this is also why we are offering the worship and prayer nights, so you can get back here a little bit sooner in a different format to help us put these structures in place. So folks, we're going to go back over to the live, and you can ask any questions you like. Thanks.